Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Saturday. Happy March 1st. So just put in the comments that you can hear and see me okay. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, seeing everybody trickle in. Hello, Jules, Linda. Welcome, Diana, Mariel, Nancy, our Santa, Robin. Thank you for coming out. It's kind of a dreary yet warm day here in Massachusetts. But you know, it's funny because it's going to drop drastically tomorrow, apparently. So I think today it's getting up to 50 or something. And then tomorrow it's in the 20s. So typical New England weather. Hello, B3 Mama. So this video, you might have thought that I made some sort of a typo, and I did not. So usually the saying is March goes, what is it? March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. And I am going to make the opposite prediction. We are in the lamb phase, not the lion phase right now. And, you know, the one thing that I can't stress enough, because I know you're listening to, you know, other people like me and, you know, astrologers and other people that do divinatory work of some sort. And, you know, they're saying, wow, March is going to be really crazy, buckle up and all that. The one thing I can't emphasize enough, and I'm so glad that I heard Steve Judge say the same thing. A lot of people that are making these predictions, they don't do the level of private readings that some of us do. And the one thing that those of us who do all these private readings realize is the collective gets affected, you know, with all these changes. But this is a fantastic time for us as individuals. So don't get caught up. I mean, because I'm going to say some things that are oh, okay, you know, a little wonky, a little out of the norm. But when I do people's personal readings, this is still the year that they buy that house, they get married, they have the baby, they get their college degree, they get the promotion, they get healthy and well again. So I can't stress that enough. But yes, I do think today is more of a lamb day than a lion day. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, all those good things. It helps promote the algorithm in ways that honestly, even I don't, you know, always fully understand and appreciate. So thank you just for being here. So tomorrow, oh my goodness, huge class. So if you ever thought about joining membership or changing your level of membership or whatever, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern is the Starseed Money Code class. It's from 2 to 4. And if you can't make it, it's uploaded. It always gets put in its own playlist. It will be there for the entire month of March. And it's live, you know, so if you have questions, I will answer it. And so it's for what I call starseeds, right? People like us, people that are light workers, empaths, people that came here for a greater purpose. But then you get these money blocks, right? So you want to start that animal rescue or the homeless shelter, the food pantry, the soup kitchen. You know, you want to bring, you know, educational resources to, you know, maybe girls that wouldn't get it and things like that. I hear what my clients have to say. But oftentimes as spiritual people, we get these money blocks. And so if you've ever taken one of my courses, you know that they're not foofy, as you might say. They are very specific. I take you step by step. It's not just one of those feel good, open your hearts and everything will be fine. No. I'm going to take you okay, let's identify the block. This is how you get rid of it. This is how you move on. And I just saw that another one of my members who took my abundance class, my manifestation class, you know, she said that it took her 4 months and she manifested her second home. So actually it's staggering how many people have manifested a home from that manifestation class. So if you took that class and, you know, you got so far, now you want to go further, take this class. So, oh my goodness, where do we even begin? Hello, Siska, a neighbor. So in March, there's a lot of different things that we're going to be talking about. Some of the things that I just want to touch on, the things that I predicted in my 2025 video, that's already starting to come true. Members got a bit more in depth, you know, last week, because if you're an angel member, you get 5 to 6 lives. And so we go more in depth, right? And actually the members that are at the Awaken Your Mind and Above levels, you actually guys got step-by-step like details with everything that's happening. You know, the Ra just laid it all out, and then that Syrian council just laid it all out. So if you remember, I did predict that we would be seeing a new pope in 2025. Members, you know that I said in May, we're going to be talking about having a new pope. And there will be a new pope. So I don't do death predictions, and I'm not going to go there. But, you know, because he could recover. I'm not going to say he isn't. But what I will say is he will no longer be functioning as the pope come May. And I do believe, and I did have to write this down because, you know, I'm not Catholic, I don't follow this. I do believe that the new pope will be Pietro Parolin, and apologies if I am mispronouncing it. But there is something about this new pope that I'm seeing that just feels a little uncomfortable, feels a little awkward. I'm actually just going to pull a few cards on this, because if I am right, and it is this Pietro person, I think we're going to see Catholicism start to wind down, wrap up, and be on its way. And I do think that the time that I would watch is April 2026. I'm sorry, 2020. Yeah, April 2026. So next April, I do think you're going to see that. Oh, okay. So the cards are like super jumpy. All right. So what do we need to know about Pietro? Because I am feeling him strongly. Interesting card. Nine of Pentacles. Obstacle card. Something to do with his work. Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. Wow, this is all Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. Interesting. So, I mean, this would imply that he's a bit self-centered. There's something kind of selfish about him, right? I don't get a good vibe from him. And once again, maybe, you know, my viewers that are Catholic, you can fill me in and let me know, because I don't know. But there is something that he would do that just wouldn't quite work out right. Kind of like wheeling and dealing, but we also know the popes do that, right? I mean, that's kind of like how they get their position. We've all read the stories and seen the movies and all that stuff. But Eight of Cups, this is what's getting my attention, is the walking away and leaving. And so that would align also with the astrology, because when I went to see why am I getting something about April and 2026, you know, that's something that I would normally think about. And that astrologically lines up with the fall of Rome and when the Pope had to flee. And so it changed things. And so I am feeling something about that. So I will say that. Also, in my 2025 predictions video, I did say you're going to see the rise of Tulsi Gabbard. And she has now been confirmed as the National Intelligence Director. And I'm going to add one more thing about her that I believe you're going to see is I just get the sense that she is this great disruptor, okay? And she is going to run for president in 2028, but I'm not convinced it's as a Republican. I think you actually may see her break away. I don't know. Independent, start our own party, you know, but I also do feel like, and I've said this before, we are watching in real time the two parties break down. And I think this is going to go right along with my prediction of you're going to see more of just individuals running with their own ideations, with their, you know, own philosophies, their own beliefs. And, you know, I think it's going to be a bit different. And also too, in that 2025 video, like, I mean, the wildfires in Trudeau was like, I mean, once again, that video was supposed to last the year, which they usually do, but 2025 is different, isn't it? Rhonda says she doesn't trust her. No. No. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm trying to like not be, you know, overly opinionated so I can get the information in. But the one thing here's one thing interesting I will say about Tulsi Gabbard, okay? As a professional remote viewer and psychic, there's something that I really don't like about her. And it is when I go to look at her, and there's very few people that I can put in this category. But at least for a period of time, Amy Coney Barrett there, the Supreme Court Justice, I would put her in the same category. I haven't gone back to check to see if she still is. They get this level of protection that makes it hard to read on. It's not a good feeling. It's like a back off feeling. What I get visually as a psychic is like they have, like somebody, I mean, someone on the astral plane has protected Tulsi Gabbard. That I feel confident of. There is like this wall of protection around her. And then you have to ask, okay, well, who did she get to do this that had that level of expertise? And so that's where I sort of, I kind of back off a little bit. There was something that I don't like. And so I back off. In March, if I could give you one bit of advice, it is this. Believe in yourself, trust your own intuition. If something doesn't feel right, if it's, like use your gut instinct, right? If it doesn't sound right, think about some of the things that we've just heard in the last few days, okay? Take the whole, tragedy surrounding Gene Hackman. When you first heard that, did that sound right? The first narrative that I heard when I woke up that morning was that he died peacefully beside his wife. They'd passed overnight somehow with their dog, and people was thinking carbon monoxide, and my guides were like, oh no. And now as more and more is coming out, there is really no way. They've actually said, no, it's not carbon monoxide. And none of it's adding up. But if you were to actually believe the first narrative, you would be so misguided. So when you get that little feeling like, no, there's something more. But then you have to ask yourself too, why did they go with that narrative? If you're telling me right away before they've even done an investigation that it's not suspicious, I mean, that makes me suspicious. Or all the things that the Vatican has been putting out about the Pope. I can tell you as somebody who has gone into kidney failure, they made him sound like he was so robust. I was hearing reports that he went to mass, he was working, he's walking, he's talking. And I'm like, wow, because 2 years ago, I did go into kidney failure. That can be one of the side effects of getting food poisoning. And I did get food poisoning. And I'll tell you, if you ever get food poisoning and you get that pain in your lower back, you only have a certain amount of time before you go to the hospital. And so did that sound right? And did that feel right? Like he was recovering and getting better. And they was making it sound like he was making these great strides. And, no. So it just kind of doesn't make sense. Yeah, see, and some of you are reading on it yourselves. Yes, pull your own cards out. Do these readings. B3 Mama is mentioning the royal family. I am doing a separate video. Now, I don't usually do the royals. I'm also doing one on celebrities, and I'm doing one on these big legal cases like the Menendez brothers. I wrote them down. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, the Karen Reed one, Luigi, Brian Koberger, because we have like such major ones. And I sort of feel like, once again, the narrative that we're being told on the news isn't going to actually be what we see. That's not what I'm getting at all. And I also feel like there's some major changes happening within the royals. And so for the first time, I am doing a video just on the royals. And I think we're going to see some major, major shakeups. And even though I totally respect their privacy and all of that, I'm going to say the king is not as well as maybe as being portrayed. Okay. So, and once again, I don't have a stance on any of these people. I don't follow celebrities. I don't follow the royals, I know like of Gene Hackman, but that's about it. Same thing with the Pope. Don't follow him. But I know some of you do, and you get interested. So in March, we're going to be talking about 45 all over the place. And, for those of you that have stumbled upon this channel that, you're fans of him, I think you need to be very concerned about his well-being in March for so many different reasons. So I do think that this is a big danger month for him. I don't know how psychic you have to be. His astrological chart. And a lot of this stuff, guys, is for 6 weeks. So I'm going to say this will spill into April. A lot of what I'm saying is spilling into April. Okay, just to clarify that at the beginning. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to be psychic. You know, he has like the perfect storm of astrology for uh, an attempt to be made, certainly. Now, what I feel energetically, because I also feel like there's also something that's there with health. I'm also feeling like a fading out of him. And I'm going to pull cards on this because I can't quite tell why it is I feel like he's going. Is he impeached and removed? Is there like his own people rising up and taking him out? Because I also do, at least temporarily, see the rise of Vance coming up before you know it, at some point in 2025. You know, heaven help us. But that is what I'm seeing. So let's just look at 45 in March. Will the truth be revealed about Jeffrey E? I do not believe this current administration actually wants it to be released. So okay, so 45 in March. What is it that we need to be aware of, that I'm feeling? Okay. Oh, weird, because you see how I put my cards back, right? Like I open them up. You're right. Okay, so, and we've gotten this for him before, right? You know, when this card's at its best, it's like a strong, independent woman who's, self-sufficient and whatnot. But it can also be a card of great selfishness, arrogance. So it can have that duality, right? So it can be somebody who really likes money, strong and independent, but on the flip side, it can also be somebody who's rather, arrogant and alone. This character is very much alone, right? Not supported. There's nobody with her. Okay. Obstacle, the World card. Okay. So beginnings and endings. And I don't know if I really see him in any scenario being our president in 2026. I will be honest about that. Like no matter what happens, if he does like quite literally dodge the bullet, so to speak, in March, April, then I just feel like there's more and more coming. So yeah, okay. So beginnings and endings, right? So being able to start a new phase of his life, endings. I mean, we could even hear about like legal cases coming up against him. I just sort of feel like there is no right move he can make. Now, with that being said, it was extremely obvious that he was listening to the astrologers and the psychics and everybody else, and he moved the inauguration inside, right? Because he knew what was going to happen if he had it outside and he had all the pomp and circumstance, right? I mean, this is someone that wouldn't sit there and say, oh no, it's too cold, right? He wants the adoration. He wouldn't have done that. But he also knew what everybody was saying. He knew what his astrology said. So it's that simple. Interesting, because we do get this card a lot for him. Now, Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing, is showing up. So a need for him to be healed. This is also him making deals. So some sort of deal, some sort of person that has now put him in a situation where he's now having to heal in some aspect. You saw, okay, you guys, you can see my hands, right? All righty, here we go. Queen of Wands. Now, okay. Interesting thing, guys. So, I've never changed from my prediction about the Queen of Wands, right? You know that I felt like she won the contest, and I said you wouldn't like election day and you wouldn't like certification day, and I never saw a blue wave or anything like that, so don't confuse me with those people. But I know she knows something. So I was going to get to this, like it's in my notes for a little bit further down. So, okay, here's my prediction with the Queen of Wands and what she does. Because she hasn't gone away. And actually, if you do pull cards on her, if you look at her astrology, she's not dead in the water, folks. There is something there. So with her in March, she's quietly planting seeds. I don't think we're going to hear anything. I'd be kind of surprised if we hear about her doing anything. But if she sows those seeds correctly in a certain way, we're going to know something in September. And if she's successful, okay, planting those seeds this month, she changes our path for 2026, okay? Just to be clear, I do not see a change of administration in 2025. I do not. Whatever seeds she's planting, she's in this for the long haul. She's in this, long term, okay? So I do see a change with that. Let me drink my lemon water over here. Let's pull a few cards for her. My other prediction about 45 is he will be known as the president. And if you like him, I'm sorry, but just look at his track record already. I don't know if you have to be psychic to make this prediction or just be logical. He will be known as the president that has the lowest approval rating of any president in history. He's already on track. And I don't think that's going to get better because this month is going to bring all kinds of chaos that he's going to have to handle. So, okay, so Kamala, she's feeling a little bit battered, bruised, but 9, card of perseverance. She's still strong. She's still going, okay? Feeling very conflicted, 5 of Wands. Yeah, she's going back and forth in her own head, like, do I do this? Do I do that? I'm sure she's had moments where she's like, I just run and hide. I mean, you couldn't blame her, right? And I'm sure there's moments where she's angry. I mean, she's human. You guys are watching this, right? Like, this is live. Here she is. Here's my card for her. This is a woman that has a lot of passion, fire, enthusiasm. That black cat is for intuition, right? She's using her gut instinct and then some. So very interesting. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean she's not doing anything. All right, people, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Where are we? Okay, so when it comes to peace, so we all saw what happened, in the Oval Office yesterday. I mean, that was so disturbing, to watch. And I don't usually watch too much of that stuff. I'm not even quite sure about like how I ended up watching it because I'm not, like a big news watcher. I think that'd be counterproductive to the work I do. But I did end up seeing it, and whoa, what do you even say to that? That was energetically, as an empath, I just wanted to run. That was such an attack. I mean, I just felt sick. I really did. It was just sickening. So go back to my predictions for 2025. What did I say? That yes, it's going to end, right? The war between Ukraine and Russia is going to end, but it's going to come at a cost to Ukraine. And I said they're going to have to give up land. And I'm wondering if it's not just land, but it's the minerals in the land. And let's pull a few cards on it. Let's see. Yes, someone is saying that it was dystopian. I just sat there like, oh, I can't believe this. Like, what am I watching? But you know what? Once again, observe, don't absorb. I allowed myself to feel it in the moment, but I'm not living that. That's not my reality, okay? Like, because that was awful to watch. Like it was like heartbreaking. But you can't just stay in that energy, right? You still have to go out and be productive and live your life. Okay. So I'm actually going to look specifically at Zelensky. hold it all together, Four of Pentacles. He is trying to hold on to control. He's trying to balance things, bring harmony. So yeah, that makes sense that he's getting Four of Pentacles. His obstacle, yeah, like I mean, how could he not feel that Three of Swords, that heartache, that heartbreak? He's not foolish. He knows what's coming, right? So yeah, this was, you know, really, really sad. Interesting, especially where we have the sunflowers, right? Ukraine. The sun will come out again. So this isn't all doom and gloom. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. They're going to have to get through this muck and mire. But the people that are saying that the peace is going to happen like this week or something, no. I think there's a huge difference between the war ending and peace happening. Those are two different things in my book. Two different things. Okay. They're going to Judgment card and Archangel Gabriel. They're divinely protected. They're going through a rebirth, a reawakening. So, you know, Zelensky, his people, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be okay. Even if I look, well, look at all these major arcana. Even if I take the bottom of the deck, they're going to move forward. Okay. But they're going to have to go through the thick of it. So don't write to me and say, oh, Diane, look, all this stuff. I know what's coming. But what I'm saying is it's going to get better for them once they get through it, but they do have to go through it, you know? So I think that's the question, Scorpio lady. Like, will Europe truly back him up? You know, the one thing that I have to say that I kind of do like about all of this is that I think that by 45 behaving the way he is, it actually strengthens Europe. And it's uniting them and making them one, because that's what this is all about, right? We're becoming one. And so I like the fact that Europe is actually coming together. And then, you know, Canada, Australia, and all these other countries, I think that's beautiful. Okay. So we're going through the chaos. We're going through the thick of it. IRS. So somebody got really upset with me in the 2025 predictions video when I said, no, I see it actually just being restructured, pretty much dismantled. I think most of it's going to be AI. The fact that we have them, I don't think, like, your average person doesn't need to actually sit there and do their taxes. There's already great AI for it. And, you know, they got really upset with me saying, oh, you are way off. Like, that isn't going to happen for years and years to come. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure it's happening 2025. Like, we're going to see maybe not the complete change, because that would be a little unusual, but it's not going to look the same in 2026. It just isn't. I would say the same thing if you had an accounting job. I don't think it's going to look the same. Now, with that said, I have read on so many federal workers and so many people that you can kind of see like their jobs are going, like accountants, the jobs are for the most part going to be replaced by AI in the next few years. The funny thing is, when I read on these people, the one thing that always comes up is, first of all, you didn't really like your job that much anyways. So what were you actually holding on to? But look, there's this other thing, this brand new opportunity that actually makes you happy and gives you more money. And it's funny how consistently I am seeing that. So yes. In March, okay, so this month, the economy, we're going to be talking about the economy. You know, so lots of instability with it. You know, I think a lot of big changes financially. I think you're going to see a lot happen with the stock market that we don't like. A lot happening with the housing market. But on the other hand, the one thing that I can't stress enough is it really doesn't impact most of us. You know, it's upsetting because you're like, oh, stock market, okay, you know, housing crisis, okay. But most of us are fine. It doesn't actually affect us. You're going to see, you know, banks getting restructured. And I think also too, and I just want to say, because I don't usually agree with anything that this administration does. If you follow me, yes, I am biased, and you know, I'm pretty upfront about that. I know who I am. But the one thing that I have been agreeing with them on is the whole concept of what I said in the 2025 video, which is this is the year we prove money's not real. Okay. So we already know it's 3 cents to print a penny. And what is it? Something like 8 cents, I think, or something like that to print a nickel. And so like we stopped printing pennies. If money was actually real, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Right. And so when Elon was saying exactly what I said in that video, we need to go into Fort Knox and actually see what isn't there. Because I have read on this. I've done remote viewings on this. And you might say, oh, Diane, but that's bad. Yeah, it's going to hurt our economy in the short run. But you and I think we're fine. I mean, we'll watch it. We'll see it on the evening news. Like, okay, yeah, they went to Fort Knox. And, the 45 is painting gold bricks and putting them in there. Or, I think they're not going to find what they're thinking they're going to find. And so I really do hope that they do go through with that and, take a look and, kind of prove what I've been saying, which is exactly why I'm teaching that money manifestation course tomorrow and why I've taught the classes that I have before, because once you get it through your head that it's not real, you can actually just manifest it like crazy because it's not real. It's just the system that we've created. And I think we're going to see it play out in real time in 2025. March, I think, is the month that starts it. We start to see a lot of inconsistencies. So, some of this stuff, because I know you guys want me to read on every little thing that this administration is doing. First of all, half of it never, ever happens. I'm not going to put anyone into a state of fear, and I'm not going to waste my time, your time, on something that just isn't either going to matter or manifest. Because remember, he throws out these big bombastic things because he knows that you're going to react. He knows people are going to get all up in arms. And that way, when he slips through that lesser thing that you normally would have freaked out about, now you're not, because it's not as bad as the other thing. And so it's, this bait and switch. It's very, very weird. But it's also intentional. So one thing that I don't know if I've heard a lot of people talk about, I don't know, you can let me know in the comments, but one thing that has come on my radar in a huge way is water. And I do think we're going to be talking an awful lot about water in March. And yes, I do see a continuation with the droughts and, all of that. I think that that's going to be a theme in 2025. But I am concerned about the cleanliness of water. Now, your local news, the national news, this administration is not covering what so many of us are seeing for ourselves with our own 2 eyes. One thing that's really enlightening, and I actually recommend that everyone do this because it gives you this really fantastic insight, is join the Facebook groups of any town or city that you ever worked or lived in. And so I belong to all these groups, of every town that I lived in, every, city or whatever that I worked in. And some of those folks have moved away, like myself. And so now they're posting from Indiana and, and they're out there. They're just people like you and I, and they're out there with their cameras. I am very concerned that our water is filling up with these dead birds that's contaminated, that clearly, they've been tested. They have the bird flu. And I know here in Massachusetts, it appears that no agency wants to take responsibility for cleaning up this whole situation. If you want to go in for a wild ride, Google Plymouth, Mass, and take a look at that. Literally, it's one woman that is cleaning up hundreds, or it could be up to thousands now. It's scary. And so I would say have a really, really good filter. And it does have to be a UV filter. So that is something that I do have in my house. Because I don't know, when I tried to look up the exact filtration system of my city here, I couldn't find out exactly how they do filter. Now, if your city does filter and they have the UV, then it'll take it out. But if not, I don't know. the fact that they're not talking about it really bothers me, because the videos and people's personal experiences, also the fact that our hospitals are filling up. You know, there's huge wait times to get into the ERs, and you know, people have these illnesses that are sort of like unspecified, and they're not talking about it. Well, I think in March we're talking about it. Okay, I will pull a few cards on this, but I do think it's going to be a major thing for the next 6 weeks, where we're really going to be talking about something that is affecting food and water, our health, and we can only ignore it for so long. You know, that's the thing. And I know like some people are more focused on the economy. I don't know how much the economy actually affects me in a day-to-day way. You know, this affects me. So this is actually what interesting. Yeah, I'm starting to see all you guys saying, yeah, I can't even drink the water where I live. Yeah, I mean, that's a problem, right? I mean, we live in the United States. We should be able to drink the water wherever we live. So, all right. So the water in the US, what do we need to know? The cards are like super jumpy with this. You know how when you're shuffling and you just feel the energy, it's like, oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. 4 of Wands. Houses, right? To me, like, I know this is a Wands, but it's making me feel like that Taurus house earth energy. Yeah, okay. A fellow Salemite. Yes, the Salem water smells like a swimming pool. Yeah, there's something wrong with the water here. One of the first things I had to do was put in a filtration system when I moved in. And now we've upped it to the UV. Obstacle. See, I don't like this. Not loving that. Obstacle, 7 of Swords. You know, that's the card of deceit, trying to get away with something, not being told the truth. Yeah, I don't love that. You reap what you sow. Okay, right? That's the saying with this card. You reap what you sow, and there's planning and thought, and okay, so we're thinking about it, and not in, like, say, the best way. You know, this is going to be kind of upsetting, and it kind of somehow restricts us. We don't like this. You know, this is another card of stress and anxiety. So I do feel like in March we are going to be talking. Oh, interesting. If I go down another one, the Justice card, yeah, like almost like the government's going to have to like say something. So that's my concern. I truly hope I'm wrong. And the thing is, if I am wrong, I have a good filtration system now. You know what I mean? Yes, Golden Lady, also good filters in your showers. Yes, I know, I agree. You know, the shower should not be turning that color. So in my 2025 prediction video, I did talk about, you know, I was seeing, you know, something with California, earthquake, and like maybe like going across the Pacific to like say Japan, Asia. I think the next 6 weeks is actually where we could see something. You know, and the thing about, you know, like our West Coast, like, and going up to Canada, right? Going Canada down to Mexico, you know, you have plates that are hitting each other. You have plates that are pulling away from each other, and you have plates that are overlapping, right? All in this one, you know, piece of earth, right? So that's a little unusual anyways. That's not, you know, it's not really great. And so, yeah, I would be a little concerned. And you know what, for you guys that actually experience earthquakes, you know, like I had one, you guys know, I think like a month ago, that totally freaked me out because never had one before, but heck, why not? It's 2025. Of course we have earthquakes in New England. I mean, literally like the crystals and stuff fell off my little bookshelf back here. So I would say whatever it is that you do to prepare, you know, for an earthquake, do it. Another thing that, if you remember, I did talk about in the 2025 video was we're going to constantly be looking up in 2025. Now, we know about the plane crashes. That is unusual, right? That is highly unusual. We don't usually see all this stuff with planes, and we're just talking about planes all the time. But how about some of these other things? So like, you know, here in Boston, we had some of the Prudential Tunnel fall down, you know, where the cars drive, right? I think it was Sacramento, we saw a woman drive off the overpass going down where the cars are driving. The movie theater the other day, that the ceiling came down. So it's like this thing where we're still like looking up, things are falling down. And it's like, so I don't see that shifting and changing yet. I think that's something that, I mean, I don't even know what to make of it. And I don't quite understand why that's happening, because you can't say, well, it's like the earth being angry, the earth is purging itself, and not necessarily in these cases. I think it's, you know, it's just a perfect storm of weirdness, you know, but also too, remember, there's also the possibility that this stuff could have just been happening anyways, and the media didn't tell us. And so I also get this feeling like there is this narrative of fear that we're supposed to buy into, because it's so easy to control people that are scared, right? So try not to linger in that energy. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, tornadoes. Okay, next 6 weeks, I think you guys need to be really careful. You know, because I actually had to look at the map to make sure I was getting this right. So I was like, okay, Texas and like right above them. Okay, yeah. So Oklahoma, Arkansas, going up. Okay, so they need to be really careful. Once again, you know, if you're used to tornadoes, do whatever it is that you would normally do to prepare. I think that would make sense at this time. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, you shouldn't be getting hit with ads, because I've never put ads in my, oh, but you know what though, here's the thing. If YouTube does put ads in my stuff, I can't really stop them, but but you guys know I don't put ads in my videos. Yeah, Barbara, we may see 45 also falling, whether that's metaphorical or literal. And just to be clear, I don't wish anybody harm, but it's a perfect storm for him. He is not, come May, he is not going to be the same person. Okay. He won't be. That is one thing I feel certain of. He is not going to be the same person if he is still here. That's really annoying. Thank you for letting me know. Always let me know if you see ads, because I don't put them in. What part of Texas? Oh, I don't know. I would say like up further up north. But oh, is there a chance of tornadoes? Is there a tornado season? I don't know how tornadoes work. But it's actually probably better that I don't. You know, it's kind of good to just be in a bubble. All right, everybody. So I hope that this was helpful. Give you a little something, you know, to just kind of get ready for this month. We're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. You know, observe, don't absorb. You know, it's going to look weird. We're going to see things that we haven't seen before. You know, and I do think we're going to be hearing more about like the BRICS, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and the money, and you know, and yeah, I think that's going to be a thing too. So, and yeah, lots of crazy weather. But you know what? I always say to myself, I know I signed up for this. I don't know what they were slipping me on the other side that made me agree to come down at this time, but I'm here for it. I'm here to help as many other people as possible. I know the majority of you that watch me are light workers. You are here to help other people too. So we're going to get through this. You're going to be fine. Nancy, yes, I did wait, Nancy, a little bit to make that video for the messages from Spirit for my members, because I didn't get that many questions. So I'll probably just end up answering all of them then in that case. So yeah, and that's the thing. If you actually like all this live stuff where I'm actually answering your questions, and you get in membership, you can ask personal questions. Oh, that's what I meant to tell you. Go to my website, Diane Aquarius. I did restructure it. It is changed. Take a deep breath. For all of my faithful clients, I am only taking 6 clients a month live. I will take 12 pre-recorded video readings. Those aren't live. You send me the questions, I make you a video. because I'm working on other projects, there's other things that I need to do. I'll probably hold like bigger events with Raha Shah, letting you guys interact exactly like, you know, with that collective, get your questions answered, but probably more in a group setting. So yes, so just digest that, because so it's set up and good to go from now until the end of the year, but I am only taking 6 clients a month from now on. So there is like a bit of a cutback there. So, all right, my friends, have a fantastic weekend. Watch out for all the videos that are going to be released this week. It's going to be interesting. Topics that I haven't normally covered, but I'm covering them because all of a sudden I feel like they are going to matter to us. So, all right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Bye, guys.